A lot more Texans will get their chance to take a big step towards ending the COVID-19 pandemic. Next week, coming up, we'll have the details on how all college students will soon be able to get the COVID-19 vaccine.
Diversity Week 2021 is more than halfway over, with more than a dozen events for students to learn about the unique differences that make the campus special. Find out how one of those activities gave students a chance to take home a special Diversity Week keepsake next.
And some members of the Texas Tech softball team earned a special place in history after an impressive outing over the weekend. MCTV's Nathan Lee will have a look back at the game and more in sports.
This is the MCTV Weekday Update.
Welcome to the Thursday edition of the MCTV Weekday Update. I'm Danielle Salazar.
And I'm Anakin Rayos.
Texas residents who have been patiently waiting to get the COVID-19 vaccine received some big news earlier this week. On Tuesday, the Texas Department of Health and Human Services officially announced that Texans aged 16 and older will be eligible to receive the vaccine, starting next week. Up until now, only people above the age of 50 or those with COVID-19 risk factors could make appointments to get vaccinated. But as of next Monday, March 29th, any adult who wants to get the shot will be eligible for the vaccine. The vaccine is currently available through public distribution sites organized by cities and towns around the state. But the DSHS expects vaccine supplies to increase next week, and that could lead to additional vaccination sites popping up throughout Texas. Along with the rest of the state, Lubbock health officials also announced that all adults are now able to register for appointments at the city-operated vaccination site. Starting with next week's clinics, the city's site runs on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays each week, with occasional Saturday clinics as well. The site is currently located at the Civic Center, which is a short trip from campus up the Marshall Sharp Freeway. Anyone interested in registering for an appointment can visit selectaseatlubbock.com and click on the links to enter for the COVID-19 vaccination dose 1 or dose 2. Appointments are expected to fill up fast, but officials hope to have more doses available to offer as demand increases. As a reminder, Texas Tech officials stated earlier this month that a regularly operating vaccination site will not be set up here on campus. However, university administrators are currently coordinating efforts with area pharmacies and pop-up clinics that may be offered in coming weeks.
The increased availability of the COVID-19 vaccine is a positive sign as the pandemic situation continues to improve throughout Texas. And locally, coronavirus cases are still trending downward as the number of vaccinated residents rises. Yesterday afternoon, Lubbock health officials announced 10 new cases of COVID-19 in their daily report. There were also 7 recoveries, bringing the total number of active cases up slightly from earlier this week to 130. But in comparison, that number is still almost 30 cases less than this time a week ago. There were also no new deaths included in yesterday's report. Over the last 2 weeks, the Lubbock County has averaged 12 new COVID-19 cases per day. That number has continued to fall from closer to 20 cases per day back at the end of February. And this past Saturday, city officials reported only 2 new cases of the coronavirus, which is the fewest number of cases in a single day since no cases were reported on May 31st of last year. Here on campus, reports of new cases of COVID-19 have been almost non-existent, with only 3 new cases reported within the last week. One of those new cases was announced yesterday, along with 2 new recoveries, bringing the total number of active cases to 5. For this week, the university has reported 2 new cases this week, which is already less than the 4 reported last week. Overall, Texas Tech has announced 208 cases of COVID-19 since employees returned to campus in January.
The 2021 edition of Diversity Week continues here at Texas Tech, with 2 more days of virtual events, but yesterday students here on campus had a chance to show off their creative skills during the last in-person event of the week. Wednesday afternoon, the Office of Risk Intervention and Safety Education hosted the Tie-Dye Diversity event in the Red Raider Plaza outside the Sub. RI set up the artistic activity at 11 a.m., giving students a chance to create their own unique tie-dye shirt. Participants could pick from a variety of colors and ended up with a special keepsake to remind them of the importance of diversity in their daily lives.
I think it's really important to recognize diversity right now and amplify voices that have been marginalized and just really bring awareness and bring us together as a community. You know, it's important to be connected and for everyone to feel safe and welcome and happy.
Yesterday's tie-dye diversity event wrapped up at 2 p.m., bringing an end to in-person opportunities during the week-long celebration. But there's still several more online events happening later today and tomorrow. For a full schedule of the remaining Diversity Week events, visit sab.ttu.edu and click on the Diversity Week link near the middle of the page.
A week and a half ago, the South Plains area experienced its first round of severe weather that included a tornado touchdown not far from Lubbock. With severe weather season officially underway, the Tech campus took time to make sure students were prepared in case of an emergency.
This is a test of the Texas Tech Emergency Notification System. In the event of an emergency...
On Tuesday, the university tested the Tech Alert Emergency Communication System. During the test, members of the Tech community received phone calls and text messages alerting them to test. Digital signage screens around campus also displayed the message letting students know it was just a test. The spring semester Tech Alert test also includes the use of the outdoor sirens, which are used when dangerous severe weather conditions could impact the campus. Tuesday's test is one of 2 tests that are done each year during the fall and spring semesters to confirm that the system is working and ready for an actual emergency. If you didn't receive a text or phone call during this week's Tech Alert test, you can check and update your contact information by visiting emergency.ttu.edu.
Speaking of weather, it's been another wacky week of conditions here at the Tech campus. We started out the week with gloomy conditions that turned into thunderstorms and eventually a full-blown dust storm. The wind brought in a drop of temperatures midweek and highs didn't even get above 50 yesterday afternoon. And even though we've seen a rise in temperatures today, it looks like the wind has returned with a vengeance. So, what can we expect as we head into the weekend? Let's take a look at the MCTV forecast. The MCTV Tower Cam is showing mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a little bit of brown hue in the distance as the dust has started to kick up. Wind speeds shouldn't be anywhere close to where they were earlier in the week, but we could still see some gusty conditions before sunset. The current temperature is already above 60 degrees and it should continue to climb as we head into the afternoon. The winds will slow down overnight, but tomorrow we can expect more of the same with wind speeds returning to 20 to 30 miles per hour. Temperatures will climb a bit more tomorrow afternoon with highs expected to reach the mid-70s. Then on Saturday we'll finally get some relief from the windy conditions and it should also be a nice spring day. We'll see a few clouds in the sky, but otherwise it will be mostly sunny with a high near 70. Sunday looks to be a near repeat of Saturday's conditions, with partly cloudy skies and slightly cooler temperatures, but overall it should be a pretty nice weekend. Looking ahead, temperatures will climb early next week before a cold front brings back the wind and cooler temperatures by Wednesday.
It's been a slow week for Texas Tech athletics after a very busy weekend for several Red Raider teams. But there's more action coming up soon as both Tech softball and baseball hit the diamond here at home for a pair of 3-game series. MCTV's Nathan Lee joins us with a look at those teams and more in sports. Nathan.
Thanks, Anakin. This past weekend in softball, 2 super seniors stole the show at the Janine McCaney Memorial Classic, and they also swept the Big 12's weekly softball awards. Outfielder Carly Hamilton won Big 12 Player of the Week, and Missy Zoke won Big 12 Pitcher of the Week. On Sunday, Hamilton tied an NCAA single-game record by hitting 2 grand slams in the first game of a doubleheader against Tarleton State. And in that same game, Missy Zoke also allowed just 1 person on base as she threw a complete game 5-inning no-hitter to lead the Red Raiders to a 23-0 victory. Hamilton's 2 homers accounted for 8 of her 13 total RBI on the weekend, while Zoke's win was her second shutout win in the tournament. Tech went 4-2 on the weekend against both Tarleton State and UTEP, but conference play will be a totally different animal. On Friday, Tech will start a 3-game series against Baylor at Rocky Johnson Field. Friday's game will start at 6 p.m., and TV coverage will be on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. The number 6 Red Raider baseball team is gearing up for their weekend series against South Florida at Dan Law Field. After starting the season 0-3 in Fort Worth, Tech has won 16 of 17 games, including 2 of 3 against number 20 Oklahoma State. On Monday, third-year sophomore Drew Baker won Big 12 Player of the Week after batting .538 against the Cowboys, plus a 3-run homer in last Monday's game against UConn. Baker and the rest of the Red Raiders will hope to continue the momentum through this weekend as they welcome the South Florida Bulls to Lubbock. Their 3-game series will start Friday at 6:30 p.m. TV coverage will be on Big 12 Now on ESPN+. All 3 Texas NBA teams are in action on Wednesday. The San Antonio Spurs could not stop the Los Angeles Clippers in any way as they allowed former Spur Kawhi Leonard to shoot 9 for 12 and score 25 points as the Spurs lost 134-101. The Houston Rockets snapped their 20-game losing streak on Monday, but went back to their old ways as they shot just 38% from the field and lost to the Charlotte Hornets 122-97. But the Dallas Mavericks got a win on Wednesday. Kristaps Porzingis had 29 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. Luka Doncic added 15 points and 4 assists of his own, and the Mavericks beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 128-108. Tonight, the Spurs will play the Clippers again in San Antonio at 7:30, hoping to get some sort of revenge. The Rockets will travel to Minneapolis to play the Timberwolves Friday at 7 p.m., and the Mavericks will come back to Dallas to play the Indiana Pacers Friday at 7:30. That's all for sports. Back to you, Danielle.
Thanks, Nathan. So, Anakin, are you planning to head out and watch any of the baseball or softball games this weekend?
Sadly, I cannot. I got a lot of homework to catch up on. How about you, Danielle?
I'm definitely going to try and make it out there and support them. Well, that's all for today's edition for the MCTV Weekday Update.
Thanks so much for joining us, and be sure to check ttuhub.net every day for more news. We'll see you next week.